Hello, everybody. This is Tim from Likeable Media. We're just going to wait around 1 more minute just for the last minute viewers. So just wait 1 more minute and we'll get started. And if you want to invite any of your friends to the webinar, it is free. You can go ahead and just tweet that link at the bottom of the screen. Okay, everyone, welcome to the webinar. I'll hand it over to Marcus, who's going to get you started. He's the co-founder and CTO of Moontoast.
Thanks so much, Tim. Welcome, everybody, to the webinar presented to you by Moontoast, a social-rich media platform for the enterprise and Likeable Media. We're here to talk to you today about social advertising for the holiday season. So Q4 is now upon us. It is officially October. We'll be seeing daylight savings time hit here shortly, and I'm sure everyone is working on their plans and strategies for what they're going to execute for social advertising for the holiday season. So we wanted to talk a little bit about both Likeable, Moontoast, Facebook, and some strategies that we thought would be helpful for you. So, as Tim mentioned, my name is Marcus Whitney. I'm CTO and co-founder of Moontoast, and joining me is Tim Bosch. He is the director of media planning for Likeable Media. We are going to cover today a little bit about Likeable in depth, a little bit about Moontoast in depth. Approaching Facebook advertising, it is a fast-changing space. Lots of updates to the creative interfaces, the ad types, and especially over the last 12 months, the targeting capabilities on Facebook as a platform. So we'll go into that in quite a bit of depth. Then, as mentioned, we're going to provide you with some of the strategies and improved opportunities on the Facebook platform for advertising this holiday season. And then Tim will take us out with some Q&A feedback and a prize. So, Tim, did you want to talk a little bit about Likeable here?
Sure. Just to let you guys know that you can go ahead and tweet questions to Likeable Media on Twitter and at Moontoast, or use the hashtag #socialads, and we'll be sure to answer your questions via Twitter. And also, you can ask questions on our Facebook page. And you can also use the chat bar in the GoToWebinar to ask questions live, which we'll be answering in real time. So just a little bit about Likeable Media, who we are. We started out actually from a little bit of a love story from our co-founders who were married from on a sponsored wedding. Sorry, getting a little feedback there. Make sure everyone turns off their the mute button on their computer. I'm getting a little feedback here, but just to go into a little bit of our story. So we're a social media marketing agency. We have 200 plus clients and global offices in Russia and Mexico. We basically create compelling content across all social media networks. We do social ads, optimize them, some of the best-in-class ad performance around, and we handle community management and campaign strategy, really a full-service social media agency. And, you know, we really are doing great things. And also, just to let you know, our founder, Dave Kerpen, is actually a New York Times bestseller author. He literally wrote the book on social media at Likeable Social Media, so make sure to go ahead and get a copy of that. Here's some of our clients. We've served over 200. Here's just a few. One thing is we really have worked in almost literally every vertical possible, and we really pride ourselves on quantifiable results for these clients. And again, you know, we really are experts when it comes to creating content and social ads.
Great, thanks, Tim. I'll take it over from here to talk a little bit about Moontoast. So we provide rich media for social. You can go to the next slide. We're known as social interactive advertising platform, social rich media platform, primarily focused on delivering rich branded interactive experiences for the enterprise. We've been known for our innovation. In 2013, we won the Facebook PMD Innovation Award. We've been recognized in AdWeek, TechCrunch, Mashable, all Facebook. Our technology is unique because it does enable you to deliver this intelligent creative that's interactive but responsive, so it works on all device types. We have an ecosystem of partners that we work with to integrate social rich media into your existing marketing and advertising infrastructure and investments. And we have had a ton of experience delivering social rich media with some of the largest brands and advertisers in the world. If you go to the next slide, we primarily focus in three verticals. So that would be consumer tech, automakers, and consumer packaged goods. We also work in many instances with the media, entertainment industries, as well as the travel industry. So we are, generally speaking, recognized as the leading innovators in the social media space, having worked with all these brands as well as many of our partners. And so happy to be here to present this webinar to you today. So we're going to start by just diving right into approaching Facebook advertising. So if you go to the next slide. So focusing on what sets Facebook apart. So Facebook is a completely different advertising platform than we've ever seen. You know, up until now, most of the advertising platforms in the digital display space have been based on content that was not user generated. But Facebook is a user generated content based platform. Obviously, it is extremely sticky. It is taking up more time on mobile devices and on desktop devices than any other engagement channel today. Here are just a couple of the stats: 180 million monthly users in the United States, 136 million monthly users on mobile in the USA today, and that number is steadily growing. For mobile users, 1 out of 5 minutes is spent on Facebook. It's from a recent stat that was delivered by Comscore. The average time spent on Facebook is 20 minutes, so highly engaging between time spent reviewing the newsfeed as well as uploading content to the newsfeed. And the paid efforts to improve the ability to reach and target and drive real marketing ROI on Facebook have dramatically improved over the last year, as is evident by their growing revenue, stock price, and the results they've been able to deliver in the space. So thinking about what sets Facebook apart, focused on that last piece, there are three, main aspects we'll be talking about in this webinar. Aspect one is the targeted reach. So because Facebook has real identity information, everybody is their real self on Facebook. You have the ability to target people based on their relationships, their interests, their real-world demographics, and many other dimensions that just really don't exist outside of Facebook as a digital display advertising network. There is much deeper engagement on Facebook than on almost any platform around today. Back to that, 1 in every 5 mobile minutes is spent on Facebook as a platform. And social-rich media is enabling brands and advertisers today to create rich interactive experiences that can be delivered via the Facebook news, which is the most engaging real estate for advertising on the web today. So Tim, did you want to jump in and talk about the 7-step approach?
Absolutely. So, so really, just the main point of this slide is really just to show you that there's really 7 areas that are of the most important parts of your Facebook plan. One is the start, of course, is to have a marketing objective. It's really crucial to have a specific goal in mind whenever you're running these campaigns. So make sure that you have the metrics to go along with that, so that you're measuring yourself against. Also, the targeting. You really want to have a targeting strategy. Obviously, any kind of consumer research that you've done, we're going to do a deep dive into the targeting in a little bit here. But you really want to have an idea before you come to the table with a Facebook plan of who you're trying to reach. Ad placement. So, obviously, as we're going to go into, there's a lot of different types of places to put the ads. You can put them in the news feed, on both mobile and desktop, and also on the right sidebar. And they each have specific strengths and weaknesses. And then, of course, the creative, which is really the most important piece of the puzzle. You want to obviously identify the best creative to the best people. And then, of course, the logistical side, which we're not really going to go that deep into, which is the campaign setup and the buying, and then, of course, the measuring with demonstratable results. Here's really the Facebook ad process kind of visualized. It's really a cyclical process. Again, it's iterative, and really you want to keep in mind that you want to have a strategy of experimentation because you're going to, of course, you never want to kind of put all of your eggs in one basket with creative and kind of ideas, because you're going to learn things along the way and want to change and optimize and can constantly change and regroup to make sure that your ads are performing as well as they possibly can. All right, so just to go over that first piece of the puzzle, the marketing objective. So obviously, before you ever start an ad campaign or you want to put dollars towards anything, you want to know what you're there to accomplish. You can increase sales. Facebook, the new ad units and the new targeting they've really been a game changer. I know when obviously Facebook ads first started, people weren't seeing that kind of quantifiable result from an e-commerce side, but more and more recently, especially with these new ad units, people are seeing great drivers to their website and conversions. So that can be a key objective. Of course, launching a new product. Facebook is about as big as a Super Bowl audience every day, potentially. And so, I mean, it's a great place to launch new products in all of the visual formats and video formats that are available. Product awareness and brand awareness, which of course it's been very good at traditionally. Drive loyalty, and also you can drive app installs. They have great mobile app install ads, which we'll probably touch upon in a little bit here. So just going into the targeting capabilities, this is really the main competitive advantage that Facebook has over every other ad platform available digitally right now. I mean, the targeting is so advanced. There's really no comparison. So we're just going to go briefly over these 3 kind of umbrella terms of different audience types that you can target. First, we'll go into standard audiences. So Facebook has categorical interests and precise interests, which are basically drawn on your Facebook activity, pages you like, content you've engaged with. A lot of data has been accumulated, obviously, on anyone on Facebook, and that really forms the base for the interest targeting. And that is typically a great performance, a great way to target a specific group. Just looking at a few of the different segments that you can go into here. Of course, there's also partner categories, which is third-party data that Facebook has received from big data companies who really drive their off Facebook activity, which we'll get into a little bit more in a second here. All right, so this is basically the partner categories like I was going over before. You really can, the third-party data is really great because obviously not everybody portrays their entire lifestyle on Facebook. So certain people may be missed that have specific interests that they haven't expressed via Facebook. So what Facebook has done is they've accumulated a lot of third-party data based on people's purchasing behavior online and offline, and formed literally hundreds, nearly almost 1,000 different subunits of people, just to see how granular it gets here. You actually know people who are buying children's cereals, which is really, obviously an incredible feat to be able to target at that level. Also, again, just to let you know that you can layer on other targeting into this. So you're not just restricted by going after people who buy children's cereals. You can also layer in the interest targeting to narrow that audience down. And of course, the geographic and demographic and lifestyle data that they have is really important to layer in as well for any kind of targeting message that you want to go after. All right, so custom audiences are really probably the biggest game changer to Facebook's ad platform, and really is a big reason why people are seeing great conversions off-site. Right now, what you can do with custom audiences is upload a list into Power Editor, and that will, with either email or phone number or Facebook ID, if you have that, and it'll match all of those emails to Facebook. And the match rates are typically 50% or above. Obviously that varies slightly, but so basically what you're allowed to do now is segment your audience and go after people who are your best customers and target them on Facebook and make sure that you're sending them key messages. Lookalike audiences are another really exciting opportunity. Lookalike audiences basically will take that set of emails and create a bigger set of Facebook users from that original custom audience based on similarities within their profiles. So basically using all of that interest and third-party data that Facebook knows about us and applying that to create a very similar audience to the one that you already have as a custom audience. So what that allows you to really do, again, is to kind of narrow down that custom audience to maybe your top 5–10% customers, and then create a bigger list from, say, all of a sudden you have 5,000 of your best customers in a custom audience. You can create a lookalike audience out of them, and that could be up to 500,000. So you're really increasing your targeting using this, and it's worked really well. The conversion rates have been very high with these, and I really suggest going after this type of targeting. All right, again, obviously, you really want to go back to the kind of the database marketing side of the business here and think about the best type of subset of your custom audience you can go after. Just a couple examples here. You can go after your prospects versus your actual customers. If you do have a robust CRM system and you do know some key dates, like birthdays or when they're getting engaged, or if they purchased a lot around the holidays last year, things like that, you can really segment and then again create specific lookalike audiences to make that audience even bigger and scalable to get the mass conversions that you might be looking for. And again, these are just a few more examples. People who bought your product in the last 3 months, people who don't open your newsletter, maybe they just don't open news emails, so you can connect with them and send them the messages and put it in their news feed where basically they will definitely see it. All right, I'm going to hand that.
Great. Thanks, Tim. So on top of all of that, extraordinarily powerful targeting, Facebook also does provide some of the best real estate to present your creative on the net today. So at a high level, and there are more, but there are really kind of three primary placements on Facebook where enterprises and companies are putting ads today. The first one is pretty much the oldest, right-hand side on Facebook. This is some of the least expensive inventory, and we'll kind of talk about some of the limits there. Newsfeed on desktop. So this is a very high-performing experience, but it's still, as you can see by that graphic, it still does have other calls to action that are surrounding it. And then the final one is mobile newsfeed, and what you'll notice there is that the mobile newsfeed ad placement really takes over the entire screen, so you get the most engagement and most control of the experience with that mobile newsfeed ad. So if we're focusing on the desktop newsfeed, there have been some great enhancements to beautify all of the posts. It's become pretty obvious that what people are engaging with most on Facebook in the newsfeed are photos, and so the posts across the board have become much more photo friendly. So in addition to just the photo page posts like the page post link now have big, beautiful photos that when you click them actually will drive you to an off-site conversion. And so the desktop newsfeed, through this beautification of its various post types, has become great for driving traffic off-site for conversion. The mobile newsfeed is a great place for engagement and brand awareness. Again, in the mobile newsfeed, you're going to have a full creative template where you're going to be able to put a large photograph that can be clicked when it's a page post link, and that can drive to an in-feed experience on mobile. And this is really an experience where social rich media shines as it keeps the interactive experience directly within the Facebook experience in an in-feed way.
Marcus, I'm just going to stop you real quick. We have a question from, let me see here, from Christina Dolan. Out of all the Facebook targeting opportunities, have any of them outshined the others? Has lookalike audiences seen better results, custom audiences, or anything like that? I can take that. So really, the best audience that I've seen on Facebook is your current fan base. So if you do have a large fan base, you definitely want to concentrate on reaching them, even if you need to pay for it through page post ads to your fans. Typically, since they've seen your content on Facebook and have definitely had touch points with you on social media, they tend to be the highest responding the base that you can go after. Of course, you want to scale up and make sure you're reaching a large audience to get kind of the masses. If you're looking to generate a lot of sales, maybe that audience is too small to just to stay in. So after you kind of make sure that you're reaching your entire audience, custom audience is obviously a little bit better than lookalike audience because they actually have had touch points with you and they have purchased your product or opted into your newsletter or whatnot. But again, the same kind of rule applies. So eventually you're going to saturate that audience and then you're going to want to expand and kind of go into deeper stuff. So, I guess really the key is that the number one from a response rate is probably your fan base and then custom audience. But if you want to reach out and go after kind of a bigger audience, lookalike audience will probably be like the third audience to go after in that case.
Thanks, Tim. And that's the point that one of the most fascinating things that the targeting that Facebook has rolled out over the last year has enabled brands to do is to really, use the targeting platform for multiple purposes. And so, I think Tim just spoke to, several of the tactics you would use from a targeting perspective to reach your existing customer base or potentially warm leads that may have opted into an email marketing program that you're running. But the fact of the matter is that we've got 1.1 billion people globally on Facebook. Many of them, well over half of them, accessing Facebook from their mobile device, which is with them at all times. And you now have the ability through all of those different targeting capabilities to reach those people, whether it's through the standard audiences Facebook already had, some of the partner category data, or using lookalike audiences to find people that match the profile of your existing purchasing customers. It really is an unprecedented opportunity to reach people where they are in real time on their mobile devices with targeting that's going to be more accurate than, generally speaking, other digital display advertising platforms.
And just to add on to that, because that's a great point. Another amazing thing is there's not really one type of targeting that is always more responsive, but a lot of times it's kind of layering the targeting. If say you're doing a lookalike audience who also like, are in a certain genre of purchase behavior from the third-party category, you can narrow your targeting. You can use all of these targetings together to kind of narrow this audience, with the exception of using multiple broad categories and multiple partner categories. That'll just make it bigger, but you can definitely layer in all of the different type of targeting to narrow that audience using all of these targeting together combined to kind of test and see what is the most responsive unit or the most responsive target that you have. All right.
So now we're going to cover the right-hand side. Generally speaking, the least expensive real estate on Facebook is on the right-hand side. Newsfeed has been calculated to be 6 times more engaging than the right-hand side, and it makes sense. Social is all about the newsfeed and the experience of that bright creative. So you can see why, if you're looking at the feed, you're going to be focused on that BuzzFeed post, before you will be focused on those ads to the right-hand rail. But it is inexpensive, and when you combine it with targeting capabilities, it can still be very, very effective. So in summary, at the highest level, the different placement options can be purchased in bundles. Facebook is essentially all of the different placements that we just went over. And in this case, the reason why you would choose the all Facebook bundle placement is because you want to get the ad out there as efficiently as you can to all the different placements. So you're looking to really kind of cover all the inventory. If you're focused on the newsfeed, it's because you have a premium focus on engagement. And you'd rather kind of pay for that higher level engagement than pay for some of the less expensive impressions you would get on the right-hand rail. If you're focused on mobile newsfeed, that's because you want to reach people on their most personal device where they are all throughout the day. Desktop is going to be the largest brand impression, and it's going to be most effective at driving those off-site conversions. And then if you're focused specifically on the right-hand column, that's going to be about creating lots of inexpensive impressions, probably getting a higher level of frequency because you're paying less for those impressions, and really driving clicks and social actions such as liking the page. From an ad type versus placement perspective, the page post link ad is the one unit that's available both on newsfeed and right-hand side, as well as the logout experience. We didn't really cover that because that is a premium ad buy that's only really available directly through Facebook. The page like is available both on the newsfeed as well as on the right-hand side. Domain ads are only available on the right-hand side. They really just kind of fit that format. And then mobile app is available on mobile newsfeed.
All right,
so turn it back to you, Tim.
Yeah, sounds good. So we do have another question on Twitter. Is there a way to analyze / run a report on who your current fan base is? There is technically no way to do that. However, you can reverse engineer the Facebook ad platform by targeting your fans only. And then, so say you had 100,000 fans and you targeted your fans only, the target size would be 100,000. Then you enter in the partner category, fashionista, and then all of a sudden you see that's 20,000. So all of a sudden 20,000 of your current fans are fashionistas according to Facebook. And you can also do that with just about any other variable to narrow down and see what your fans are. However, it's a lot better if you're going after a specific idea. Do you want to know if your fan base are pet owners? If you're going there and you can't really just run a report and have like an affinity report done for you, But again, there's another way to do this is you can use the, that's a great way, by the way, but there's another way to use the, what's it called? Graph search, sorry. So you can use the graph search, and you can type in pages liked by people who like, and then enter in your Facebook page name, and then a list of pages who are similar to which are pages that your fans like. In order of how many of your fans like them, you'll see a list of pages like that. And that's a free tool that anyone can use. And you can actually layer in other things like that, your competitors, and see what pages your competitor fans like. And again, you can also narrow that down to interest. But the key with that is to make sure that, if all of your fans like Starbucks and some of these brands with millions and millions and millions and millions of fans, that may not be great info. But if all of a sudden there's a page with only 100,000 fans that a lot of your fans like, that might be something that you want to add into your strategy and target after. All right, great. So just going into some great things going on with Facebook ads around the holiday season this year. Some of you may have seen some of this, but just a couple of stats. 1 out of every 3 consumers use social to inform a gift purchase leading up to the holidays. Social media is, obviously a massive resource for holiday gift research and recommendations. The social context is really a key and really adds a lot of authenticity. 62% of social shoppers make a holiday gift purchase as a direct result of an interaction that they've had on a social network. All right, so one of the biggest opportunities that is really kind of coming out the gate right now is the new format for page post link ads, and also combine that with the access to the desktop newsfeed and the mobile newsfeed that every advertiser now has access to, which is, of course, Facebook's native ad placement, the most engaging place on Facebook, the prime real estate. This is the ad. Basically, this is the ad you will want to use if you're really trying to drive off-site conversions. What they've done is basically taken a page out of Pinterest book and created almost an image about just slightly smaller than the regular photo in the newsfeed. That is a clickable link. So, what this has done is really been able to drive a lot of link clicks, a lot of web traffic. So instead of kind of that unengaging, ugly kind of post that you see above that a lot of us have been using in the past or not using because it was somewhat ineffective, now Facebook has upgraded the imagery and really has increased the effectiveness of this ad unit, and it's really starting to take over as a driver of web traffic. The old way, which is a way a lot of still very smart marketers are doing, because this has kind of been the typical way to drive link clicks on Facebook, is to use an image with a shortened bit.ly, which is usually a great post, very engaging. However, when your goal is to drive link clicks, people going to your website, I mean, I think you would rather have 50 link clicks than 50 likes and no link clicks. So what that page post link ad does, you can actually, because right now, obviously, the most clicked things on Facebook right now are photos in the newsfeed. So, when someone clicks this post right here, it will open up and become a larger photo. Unlike the post where is the link post, when they click on the image, they will go to your website. So obviously that's a bit more effective, and considering how small of a real estate that shortened bit.ly is compared to the real estate of the big giant link image, it really is a no-brainer. It really is driving a lot of web traffic, and I really think you guys should go after that. All right, so here's another great benefit that Facebook has recently introduced, and that's really being able to measure offline activity from your Facebook ad. And what's also amazing is it's measuring your, this works for mobile too, so it's cross-functional on mobile and desktop. So what you can do is you can create an offline pixel and add that to the key page that you want whatever action after. You can go after checkouts, registration, leads, key page views, adds to cart, things like that, and really using the new delivery method of optimized CPM, you can optimize that ad based on the key metrics that you're going after off Facebook. So you can really deliver a real, true ROI to your ad efforts. It's a really a great, groundbreaking kind of tool that not enough people are using at this time. And instead of really just kind of judging yourself on link clicks or engagement, you can really start to judge yourself on landing page conversions. So you're really starting to kind of move down the funnel a bit more and starting to really attach your Facebook ad to the actual purchase. Here's another great tool that I really think everyone should be using right now. It's called unpublished page posts, or dark posts as they're commonly referred to. You know, what's great about this, again, just kind of combined with the new targeting and how granular you can get and how niche you can get with the geographic posts and demographic, partner categories, interest-based categories, you know, the lookalike audience, custom audiences. I mean, there's so many opportunities here. I mean, obviously, if you were going to try to drive sales for your website, you wouldn't want to be posting on your timeline twice a day trying to get your fans to buy stuff, because that would make them unlike your page, because that's not really what they're there for. And you don't want to oversaturate that sales message in your content strategy. So what this allows you to do is create page posts and deliver them to really whoever you want. It could be subsets of your fan base. It could be your custom audience. It can be young people who have a specific message that you're going after, college students, and you can send off a diversified content to all of these different people without those ever reaching your entire fan base or even living on your timeline. So really what you're allowed to do now is send out an ad unit that looks like a native Facebook post in front of whoever you really are looking for without really disrupting your current fan base. So it's really a great tool. And you know, a couple ideas is for this holiday is to really show some special offers to specific Facebook custom audience segments. It's definitely a great, powerful technique for driving sales during the holidays. You know, if you knew that these customers and you have the database bought a certain item last year, you can go after them or create a lookalike audience and go after them using the tool and send them specific unpublished page posts in the newsfeed. Again, I would stress that, you know, unless your website is e-commerce really mobile friendly, I would really suggest using the desktop newsfeed only. But again, when you do use all placements, you can go back and see which one was converting best anyway, and then narrow down from there. But definitely, you know, you don't want to be sending people to a mobile site that looks terrible. So unless you have a great mobile site, you probably don't want to try to drive sales through mobile. And then obviously, you know, driving engagement and conversions at scale without clogging your current fan base's newsfeed. I mean, if you know a lot of your fans are Jets fans and a lot of them are Giants fans, you know, you can send them Jets fans content to the Jets fans and without really upsetting Giants fans. And then again, it's just the ability to really kind of choose your placement where you want to be, because mobile is amazing for engagement and lightweight response, and desktop is, you know, unless you have a great mobile site like Amazon.com, you know, is much better for driving offsite and driving conversions offsite. All right, I'll hand that back over to you.
Thanks, Tim. So really, you know, being able to leverage all of the things Tim just talked about, right? The enhancements and beautification that have happened to the page post link that have made it far more attractive and increased those click-through rates. You know, the ability to leverage Facebook conversion tracking, right, with the Facebook conversion pixel, and tie it into your own branded experience that is delivered via that page post link, and then ultimately to be able to leverage all the targeting capabilities without flooding your timeline with various different types of creative, leveraging unpublished page posts. Social rich media is really, you know, the best medium to be able to do that. I think Tim highlighted one of the challenges of doing advertising on mobile, even though mobile is going to have a far greater level of engagement. You know, one of the big challenges is having great mobile content. And social rich media really excels at giving brands the ability to deliver social content It can include video and other types of interactive media, but it is going to be mobile optimized, and that's really where the great opportunity lies. It's going to be a significant cost advantage for you to be able to leverage social rich media to deliver these interactive media assets versus, for example, television at scale. Interactive advertising enables you to support your entire consumer journey. So everything from brand experience all the way to actually driving a purchase, identifying hand raisers, engaging people in voting or other types of sweepstakes activities. All of those things can be achieved via social rich media as a medium. And then ultimately the ability to combine interactive advertising with the newsfeed, which is the most engaging real estate, and that level of targeting really can create not just fantastic paid media results, but you can combine that because it is a social environment, leverage likes, comments, shares, and other social triggers to drive additional owned and earned media impressions. So just next slide, going a little bit deeper, here are some examples of Moontoast social rich media ad unit types that have been deployed for our client base, and examples of how they do carry across the entire consumer journey. So, you really want to be able to make those ad dollars count. You're already leveraging the best targeting, in the space. Fantastic creative palette, very engaging interface on them, especially on the mobile newsfeed. What do you want to do from that point? Well, you want to be able to drive brand awareness, lead generation, product or brand preference, shopping activities where you're actually converting people in a mobile optimized shopping cart experience, social experiences where you're leveraging user-generated content, and finally endorsements, which we now know in the social era of social marketing and social commerce really enhance that consumer journey. All these capabilities are available through social rich media and can leverage all of those great advantages that Tim just covered. And then finally, these are responsive units. So today when we say mobile, we know that we don't just mean phones. We know we mean tablets. We know that an iPhone doesn't quite work the same way as an Android phone does. You need content that's going to be reliable, it's going to be responsive, and it's going to be beautiful both in how it looks and how the user can interact with it regardless of the device type. So you need to be able to create that fantastic user experience so that you can leverage the most engaging real estate on the web, the Facebook mobile newsfeed, and then be able to leverage that targeting. You also want to be able to actually drive real business KPIs at the end of the day. So, it's one thing to be able to drive likes on your page or get likes, comments, and shares on a post. Engagement is great. But what happens when you're trying to drive that conversion? Some of the things that we talked about that are going to be very, very key for your Q4 marketing objectives. This is where social rich media can come in very, very handy. Combining our conversion forms or our ability to drive social signups and then track all of those things with Facebook conversion pixel tracking, for example. Leveraging multiple unpublished page posts and then optimizing your spend behind the ones that are converting best. Those are some of the things that interactive rich media, social rich media can provide them. So back to you, Tim, to cover the free resources that all the viewers can take advantage of. Sure.
All right. So first, I wanted to go over just taking your holiday campaigns to the next level. We do offer social advertising, and we do guarantee a lower cost per action than you're currently getting for whatever metric you're going after. So please email sales@likeable.com if we have an exclusive offer going on right now. So be sure to shoot them an email, and we'll set you up. And then, of course, we are coming out with a white paper, which you can take advantage of. Email marketing@likeable.com for a free copy. It's a great for 4 methods of breaking through the social clutter, which is obviously key right now. There's a lot of people going after the same audiences, and you're going to have to be really creative and compelling to get them to engage with you in a meaningful way. While everyone's really trying to push for the same type of actions, it's really important to kind of know how to break through that clutter. All right, cool. So I think we have a couple questions, right? Let me go to one here. Okay. Would it be better to focus on mobile Facebook advertising? Or wait, if I have a mobile optimized site, would it be better to focus on mobile Facebook advertising, or should I do a mix of both mobile and desktop? I would say the good thing about Facebook is it's really, they've done a couple upgrades to the reporting feature, and what they've allowed now is for you to track your conversions or your cost per whatever the desired action is, and see and kind of filter it by placement. So the best answer to that is to test both. You know, use both the news feeds, and then after you're running it for a set period, a testing period, you can go back and really see which one worked best. Because of course, every audience reacts differently in different placements. Again, mobile is an amazing place because the share of screen is the highest out of anything. Again, the desktop people like to navigate more, so if you're going to another website, it's typically maybe a little bit easier user experience. They have keyboard or whatnot for more complex actions. But again, mobile is so engaging that may outweigh it. So really the best answer is to test both and then see which one is getting the best response rate.
Great, and I see there's a question here addressing social-rich media. The question is, what type of analytics are tracked on social-rich media? Are they the same as traditional display ads? So that's a great question. So the answer is we track everything in social-rich media that traditional display ads track, and then a whole heck of a lot more. There's just a lot that can be done in a social-rich media experience. You know, it's not typical for a traditional display ad to enable a sweepstakes by which the recipient will enter using their Facebook credentials to log in. So, you know, obviously we track all of the impressions, we track every single interaction that happens inside of the social-rich media ad. For any of those data that's collected via social-rich media ad, we also track that analytics as well. And then we also track all the social metrics around it, like comments and shares that may occur around the unit at the post level, or even that are triggered inside of the unit. So we've got an analytics methodology that's called DITE to really you know, handle how we look at analytics around social-rich media, and that stands for discovery, interaction, transaction, and endorsement. We use that framework to make it clear that we are measuring dimensions of interaction with our ads that are beyond what you would expect in the traditional display ad.
All right, cool. And then there's another question: how does pricing compare to traditional digital advertising? Is it more efficient? And basically, there are some differences, obviously. And the great thing about Facebook is the targeting. There's a lot of things where Facebook's much more efficient. One is, in my opinion, is kind of the birth of the optimized CPM, which, you know, obviously with most typical display ads, you're either going CPM or CPC. With optimized CPM, you can enter in a specific variable that you want to optimize for, and then you can let Facebook algorithmically try to get you the lowest cost per that desired action. And that has typically worked really well. Again, you don't want to discount CPC, and in some cases it may work better. And again, this is another area you want to test. But I think that at the end of the day, you know, the audience on Facebook and the placement, again, the placement is native to Facebook, to the viewer in the newsfeed. It's not on the right sidebar, so people really, I mean, the only thing that tells you that it's an ad is a little tiny thing underneath a faded sponsored. It really looks natural and organic. And as long as you're putting good stuff in front of the right people, you're going to get great results. And now they're more measurable than ever. So, I mean, you really need to, you really have to at least take advantage of it and test it out to see if you can kind of drive the results you're looking for. Because it's definitely an opportunity, and it's definitely achievable for companies at all levels. So, yeah. Let's see here.
Great. Okay. So yeah, there was a question here. Is there more information on DITE? So yes, Moontoast.com. We've got a section that covers DITE as well as our analytics platform.
Cool.
All right. Do you have any more questions, or Tim, did you want to move into the finale here?
All right. And just if you guys have any more questions or feedback, be sure to tweet it at Likeable Media. We'll be giving one of a Likeable social media out to the one lucky winner. So be sure to ask some questions. I'm going to make myself available on Twitter to kind of answer whatever questions I can, and you know, you might win a great book by our fearless leader, Dave Kerr.
Great. So thank you, Tim. Thanks to the entire Likeable Media team for partnering with us on this webinar. Hope that you all found it helpful as you are, you know, plotting the course for your Q4 social advertising activities. Obviously, if you have any questions about Moontoast and how we can help you and your brand or the brands that you serve achieve your objectives, we can be reached at moontoast.com, or you can hit me directly on Twitter at Marcus Whitney. Again, thank you so much for your time, and we hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, everybody.